Good morning, friends. Do you ever do that thing where you put off your small, entirely not time-consuming sewing projects for approximately 400 years because... Same. And that is what I am about to endeavor to take care of today. Okay, so the entire reason for this video existing is purely because I needed some motivation/accountability to actually get this stuff done. If you are in the same position, if you have any sewing projects to be finished, to be started, to be like addressed for 2 seconds, anything else you've been putting off for like half a millennium, make yourself a snack, let's get some stuff done.
I'm starting with the simple fixes, the things that'll only take a couple of minutes, so that way I will at least feel like I am making immediate and fast progress through this doom pile. I just have a clasp and a button to sew onto these two things, which shouldn't take a minute. I'll be doing both these fixes with a bit of thick silk buttonhole twist since it's really strong. This is the third time I have had to resew on this clasp, only not with fine polyester thread this time, so I am hoping this will be the last.
I am sitting here being taunted by this pile of beautiful tweed that I just want to make into some stuff. But I'm promising myself that I will not do that until I take care of these small little things. I think we need to reframe for a second. 2020 has been a year, but sort of unexpectedly it has been a year of making some wonderful new wardrobe pieces that I have actually come to wear every day in my life, despite the fact that I'm not going outside. I've actually been really enjoying making everyday clothing, and I would like to make some more everyday clothing.
Okay, that was about 7 weeks of procrastinating for 10 minutes of mending. Next up I have this dress, which I intended to fix in time for the summer, so we shall pretend it is not presently autumn. I've owned this for years and it's been entirely too big for me, though it is a wrap dress and thus fairly adjustable. I did need to take up a little bit of room in the shoulders. I got so far as pinning out the excess, so all I need to do now is stitch the alteration down, which I have elected to do super simply by just felling down the fold on both the inside and outside. Not a conventional alteration by modern standards, but you know what? I have seen counter hems at the shoulders of plenty of historical garments, so there is no reason why that can't work just as well today. Once again, this is a little mend that took all of literally 20 minutes to complete, and now I have a lovely dress to wear for whenever summer decides to come again, which is really good because my wardrobe is severely lacking in the warm weather appropriate department. Okay, I have just had news that I have a package downstairs, which is very, very exciting news. So speaking of mending and preserving, whilst I go downstairs to fetch that, I'm going to hand you over to sponsorship Bernadette real quick, who has made a little film to tell you about our sponsor for today's video. Function of Beauty, who have just launched their brand new line of skincare products, which, befitting their tradition, are entirely personalized to help you achieve your own unique skincare goals and needs. Admittedly, I have never had a skincare routine, purely because I am just completely overwhelmed with trying to find which products work best for me, so Function of Beauty's personalization system was a literal blessing in pointing me in the right direction. Each product comes in a range of different formats according to your preferences, from jellies to gels to lotions to creams, and of course they always put your name on the bottle. All you need to do is fill out the quick short quiz to let them know your skin type, goals, makeup use, sensitivities, and personalized preferences, and they'll send you products that are blended especially for you, not just matched to an existing range of products. And of course they use no parabens, sulfates, GMOs, toxins, and are 100% vegan and cruelty-free. Be one of the first to try Function of Beauty's new line of skincare products through my exclusive early access link. And with the super secret offer they've hooked us up with, you can get an extra 10% off any skincare bundle through the link in the description box below. That is a total savings of over 20% as part of this new launch, so do sneak in there fast if you like. ladies and gentlefolk, the moment we have all been waiting for. I have received a package from one Alexis in Canada, who is a friend of Yule if you watch her channel. She was able to investigate the Makuba in Toronto and found that, lo and behold, they do have the lace that I used but woefully did not have enough of for my Victorian petticoat project. This is the greatest news, for now I can finally actually complete this thing, and you finally get to see it completed. This one was not a quick 15-minute fix, but required probably about 3 or 4 hours of running stitching the new lace in by hand, but I found this to be quite enjoyable actually. The utter redundancy of my proclaiming my enjoyment for hand sewing is astounding, but good lace is just so pretty to look at. It makes the overall hand sewing experience even more enjoyable than usual. I think I got a little bit over enthusiastic with this though, because I ended up with quite a bit of excess left over, but you know what? Something else will get pretty lace in future. And next time I am not starting that project until I know for absolute certain that I have exactly enough. We are not doing this again. Okay friends, for my next task I must shamefully admit that this is my Lady Sherlock walking skirt. I never actually got around to overcasting the seam allowances IRL, only enough to show on video so that it was sufficient to show that that's how you do it and that is what you do, but not that I actually did it on the entire skirt. It has, yes, ladies and gentlefolks, sufficiently been more than 1 year since I, in theory, completed this skirt, so today's task is to finish the overcasting of these seams. If you did not see that video, they are supposed to just be very loosely whip-stitched down to this tarlatan layer so that they don't come up and therefore they don't fray, because not all skirt seams on Victorian skirts were finished, you know, folded over, raw edges concealed and all that. Some skirts could just be overcast and just left raw, but they don't actually fray because they're secured down nicely. So I've only got, I think, just these 2 sides left to do. I've been working on this sort of piecemeal for a year, but I've only got 1 more seam left to do. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that today, and then I can officially call this walking skirt complete. I feel like I'm doing something productive and creative, but that doesn't require brain work. Obviously patterning does require brain work, but like hand sewing, little hand sewing tasks that I just love. Little things like walking skirts that I've made before, or pirate shirts, which I've made the equivalent of, you know, I've made shifts before, and it's all hand sewing, which I really love. I've been finding those sorts of projects really relaxing and really good for the head, whilst all of this 2020 nonsense explodes around us.
I know you may have seen this skirt 100 times before, but have you seen it with stupid socks?
Okay, so that was all I intended to do for this video. However, there is some bonus content because a couple of weeks ago I ordered Cesario some fleece linings for his cage, and they sent along 2 small swatch squares along with the liners for some reason, which I can only assume means that we're supposed to make them into tiny pillows for our little lords. So this is precisely what I'm doing, and incidentally, the strip of muslin I unpicked from the petticoat as the lace placeholder is actually nearly perfectly sized for the backings of these pillows. Plus, I get to put some cabbage to good use for the stuffing and empty my cup of thread clippings, which was getting quite full. His lordship does this thing where he likes to sleep with his head resting against his food bowl, which I'm pretty sure is a personal choice, but we'll at least see if a pillow is of vague interest to him.
Okay, maybe not. We'll see. And therein are my accomplishments for this random sewing adventure. I hope this was of some vague use, or was just maybe something pretty to look at, and maybe a small escape from 2020. In any case, I feel that I've just cleared up a bunch of bothersome clutter from my sewing life, and now it is time to begin some new sewing projects. Perhaps I shall see you anon on the next adventure.